What's up, guys? Corey Hankerson here from Legacy Tax, and they call me the Levy King. Listen, I've got to share some news with you guys. If you owe back taxes or you've been dealing with the IRS recently, you're going to want to hear this. There's been a significant shift at the IRS that's going to affect taxpayers like you in a big way. In short, the IRS has dramatically slashed its workforce, and it's going to lead to delays, errors, and even more aggressive collection tactics in the near future. Heck, it's already started now. Like, the wait times to get on the phone with the IRS has gone from bad to worse. But it's not all bad news. There's a lot to unpack, so let's break it down. Now, according to a recent report by the TIGTA, which is the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, you know, the government, they love their acronyms. So the TIGTA published a report in July of 2025, which stated that the IRS has laid off a substantial number of employees, thousands. And no, it's not just administrative workers, it's hitting some of the most critical departments. For example, they've cut a large portion of mid-level employees, managers, and call center staff. Now, let's talk about the real impact. The people who remain at the IRS are under pressure to handle the same volume of cases, but with fewer resources. The number of IRS cases has not dropped. In fact, the IRS still has the same number of collection cases piling up every single day. But now there are fewer people to answer those calls, process your request, and set up things like installment agreements or currently non-collectible hardship status. Think about it. When you call the IRS, you might be waiting even longer than usual. And if you're hoping to speak with someone about an installment agreement or request that hardship, good luck. There are fewer managers to approve these types of cases, which means that fewer opportunities to resolve your case quickly and efficiently. And here's where things get a lot more concerning. With all the layoffs and all the downsizing and all that stuff that's going on at the IRS is leaning more heavily on AI and computer-generated notices to handle their workload. You heard that right. AI is actually processing IRS cases now to a much greater extent than they ever have before. This means that they're sending out more levies automatically without the same level of human oversight. And with fewer people in the office to process requests, you can expect some real delays and honestly, probably some errors as well. AI is supposed to help streamline things, but with fewer people on the ground, it's causing more mistakes. Taxpayers may be receiving notices or levies that don't fully reflect their situation. Maybe you're eligible for hardship relief, or you should be on a payment plan, or maybe you should get an offer in compromise. But those options might not necessarily be processed correctly or quickly. So what does this mean for you? If you owe back taxes, first, it means delays. Don't expect your case to be handled quickly. The IRS simply does not have the manpower to keep up. Second, expect some errors. With fewer people manually reviewing cases, you're more likely to get notices that are wrong or maybe just misdirected. And third, expect more aggressive collection tactics like wage garnishments and bank levies as the IRS automates more of these processes. Here's what you need to know. There are fewer IRS collection workers, which means that your case will likely take longer to process. There are fewer IRS call center assisters, which means that hold times are likely going way up. It's already happened, right? It used to be that, maybe you sit on hold for 30, 45 minutes. Now it's easily an hour or 2 hours, which makes it more difficult for you to call and get the help you need. There are going to be more levies that are going out automatically, but with fewer employees to actually review your case. And finally, there are going to be delays and errors, which are just inevitable, especially with fewer managers to approve requests like installment agreements and hardship status. And then we have AI and automation. Those things are filling the gaps, but that comes with its own set of problems like wrong notices, delays, and mistakes. Bottom line here is this just isn't the IRS that you've dealt with before. If you've had back tax issues for a while, you've probably called the IRS before or maybe had to respond to a notice or two. Things are different now. If you're facing a levy, a garnishment, or just need to figure out how to settle your debt, be prepared to be very patient. And remember, just because the IRS is cutting back doesn't mean you have to go down without a fight. That's why at Legacy Tax, we're here to help you to navigate the storm and get your case handled as efficiently as possible. If you need help with IRS tax debt, whether it's a levy, a tax lien, or anything in between, don't wait for the IRS to mess up your case. you're going to need to be proactive and maybe a little aggressive, like respectfully aggressive, in trying to resolve your tax debt. Speaking of tax debt, I want you to know that there are special programs in place to help you get a fresh start. But how do you know if you qualify? No two cases are alike. So how do you know exactly how much you can settle for? I've created a free tool to help you get qualified for a fresh start. Just head over to www.levyking.com or click the link below. Follow the prompts and answer a few simple questions, and we'll help you figure out your eligibility. That website again is www.levyking.com, or you can give us a call at 1-877-LEVY-KING. That's it for this week, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
1-877-LEVY-KING, Levy, Levy King, 1-877-LEVY-KING, LevyKing.com. Back taxes to the IRS? Call the Levy King. He's the best. 877-Levy-KING, LevyKing.com. 1-877-Levy-KING, Levy